Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Tobani Vumindaba.
I am Buhlali Buzani.
And this is
Refining Perspectives.
Well, we are back with you to bring you another episode of Refining Perspectives. And today, as we've been for the previous couple of weeks talking about self-discipline.
Absolutely.
And the importance of that. And the previous week, we talked about boundaries in relation to self-discipline. This week, we're talking about resilience.
Yes, bro.
The importance of building up your own resilience, why it's important, the detriment of not having that in your own personal life, and how does that even link when it comes to self-discipline. So please do stay tuned. After the break, we'll be back with you.
Hello again, guys. Don't forget to please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we can keep the conversation going, bro.
Yes.
You're saying we are talking about resilience today, and I just want to emphasize that when we talk about resilience, we are talking about it as a mindset. Because when we say it's a mindset, we then understand that it's built over time. It's not something that is just there.
Instant.
However, each and every one of us carry the capacity to be resilient people. I think first and foremost, for us to draw the picture and the narrative, we need to understand self-discipline, and we spoke about boundaries. That means that we come to understood the fact that in life there are things that we can control and there are things that we cannot control. So there are so many things that happen that we do not have control over. So when those things happen and we find ourselves in stressful situations or find ourselves in the deep end, how we respond or react to those situations says a lot about our level of resilience. So I don't know, bro, do you want to start with us defining it? Or?
I think the way that you have just put it, before you even go to define it, you know, it's really important what you have said. The way that we react to situations says a lot about us, and it carries a lot of weight to even how we then therefore live our lives. And it can even have that impact where you find sometimes because of things that are outside of our control, sometimes we are prone to let go of the things that we hold dear. Make an example. You have boundaries that you have put in place. You have values that you espouse. You have virtues that you live by. But because now you find yourself in a situation that you cannot control, you find yourself neglecting those. And then that, as you said, that will say a lot about you. So today we're talking about resilience and why it is important. And I just want to read up here on the definition for resilience. So it says, this is from the Oxford Dictionary. Resilience, it is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, toughness. And then it continues to say the ability of a substance or object to spring back into shape or elasticity. And just before I even move on to the third, if I can say, what do they usually call the material? Appendix.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Before I can move on to the next extract, you know, it speaks about the ability to spring back, to come back into the previous state. And when we were talking about this before, you know, when you said that, when we were reading through these resources, it really stuck in my mind. There is a plan. There is a mindset, there is a goal that you had before this happening. So if then, let's say, for instance, you had goals that you had set before a certain incident that is out of your control comes and, you know, the ability for you to be able to go back into that state is very important, because it will tell the difference whether you're going to give up or you're going to become delayed. So you can end up sometimes not achieving the goals that you have set for yourself. You can end up sometimes, you know, becoming in a place where you are depressed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And feeling overwhelmed
and
because
and all
exactly
of
because of the fact that you are remaining in the mindset of what is happening now.
Yeah.
So resilience talks about the ability for you to go back and not to stick to what is happening now.
Yeah.
And when we were just looking through the resources, one of the things it says that it's important, the mindset of resilience. It builds in you the ability to study the environment and how it is actually impacting you, so that you can be able to react properly and not add on to that.
Absolutely. I think, bro, with that being said, like I'm just thinking now, Uguti, most of the times we think that the impact of a tsunami or a tornado is felt at the moment of collision. But whereas no, that's not when it's felt. It's felt when after all the resources are on the floor, and you know everything is lying around. And at that moment, it's about now how we respond to that. Are we going to respond proactively? Proactively is what you're saying. Us being, before we are conscious about the environment, we need to be fully aware of ourselves. But to say, okay, these are the shifts and the changes that are taking place. Because shifts and changes will take place. They will. But you just need to make sure that they're not subconscious. But the changes that are taking place in your life when you've experienced a traumatic event or an event that is stressful in your life, those should be, they should take place. Introspection, aware. And now when those changes take place, you need to be aware, because now, because of this environment, before you address the environment, your body is going to, by reflex, or your mind is going to want to adapt to this concocious environment, to this environment that is not very conducive. And let's say everything is all over. So now your mind is going to want to...
And psychologists, they will say that what is going on within you dictates how you relate to the world.
Absolutely.
So if then you are not aware of what is going on within you, then you can be subconsciously influenced and out of control of even your own life.
Absolutely. So now the outer influences the inner. So that means now, as Mutlali, now I then become shaped by my environment, by my circumstance and the condition. We have a lot of people, I think what will tie into resilience is a forgiveness. To say that now, with that being said, like when we experience traumatic and stressful events, like on this note of resilience, we need to understand that because of this environment, we're going to want to have coping mechanisms. We're going to want to cope. And now you need to be aware of which coping mechanisms are you going to expose yourself to.
Hence, it is important to understand what is even actually happening within you when that uncontrolled experience happens to you, because there are behaviors that are going to come up from that, trying to protect yourself, and sometimes they can actually be detrimental to you.
Absolutely.
And those you are actually not where you want to be. You know, I think it's Friedrich Nietzsche who said that the most virtuous person is not just the person who changes his life, but the most virtuous person is that person who has the worst things happen to him or her, and there's no explanation as into why, but they don't allow those worst things to actually make them conform to that. Because it's easy, bro. So and so and so betrayed me, so I'll never trust anyone again.
I'm going to betray,
and I'm going to betray people. It's easy.
Back to the sender.
And it's and it's actually justifiable. But he says that Oyanamtu who's virtuous and Oyanamtu who deserves an award, and he drives it to the Bible, making an example. But perhaps maybe that's what the story of Jesus is supposed to teach us. He was supposed to have hate against the whole world, because he was living a virtuous life, doing what is good, but what the world returned to him was not what he deserved. So I think resilience speaks a lot even to that. That ability as much as but this situation has the ability to mold me into a person I don't want to be, but I'm going to go back to the previous ideal that I held. And this is not to say, bro, the situation is not going to affect you. You are not going to feel the pain of the situation.
And even there, bro, it's not to say that now I need to stick. Because sometimes situations, not sometimes, most of the time, situations carry a hidden lesson.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro.
Exactly.
So there's something that needs to be
transformed,
transformed within us. You remember, a virtuous character is not pruned without fire. You need to be put through the fire and tested. So that's why we experience things whether we deserve them or not. That's why bad things happen, so that we can become better people. We can be down to earth, humble, compassionate people, because of all these tough things that we experience. Imagine ubuzokwazi njani umvela omnye umuntu if ungakhange ube kanti nawe you face anything, you know.
And maybe just to preface that, it's that kind of mentality that then makes the difficult situation beneficial to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you come out of it being a better person.
Absolutely.
And maybe even before we get to the second segment, that's a great lesson that we can't just. We'll face a difficult situation rather than saying, oh, the world is against me, everyone is against me. What can I learn from it?
That's what comes with the mindset of resilience, Toban. The mindset of resilience says, okay, this has happened to me, right? And I'm broken, I'm in pieces. But now, what responsibility can I take to move my life forward?
Don't talk about responsibility now. Don't talk about responsibility.
Absolutely.
Not today. Not in the 21st century.
Because Jonga Tobs, and that's what I noticed with me. Like when you experience severe loss or anything like that, like there's certain stages that psychology speaks.
In a world where there's so much information, do we know what shapes our ideas? Join Lebo and Buhlayo Refining Perspectives exclusive, talking leadership and more on Tuesdays on Radio 537.
We are back, Bapulapuli, or Bambukeli Ekaya.
Abambukela baya.
Hey, we ask. Anyway, with that being said, bro, before the ad break, what I wanted to touch on was the fact that you spoke about what Friedrich Nietzsche once said. He said that it's more about conquering the beast within. But when I'm paraphrasing it. So the one who's righteous is not the one who had nothing. Who is just righteous. But it's the one who had the evil within him.
The worst.
And faced the worst. But was still able to conquer it. And instead of him being the slave to that, who was the master to those experiences. Now that makes me come to what I was going to say right now. Bro, there are different coping mechanisms. You and I can never prescribe them to people. And you and I cannot know the depth of how detrimental they may be. But one thing that we can say is that people should start owning up to who they become after the tsunami. We need to own the decisions that we're going to make. We need to. Does that make sense?
I'm just thinking, bro, of being able to own the people we become after the tsunami. Because it speaks to Landuba. We can't go on continue blaming the tsunami. You need to be able to, and you can't if you don't apply a certain level of resilience.
Absolutely.
Where you're going to say, okay, this has happened, but what now?
But what now?
Where am I going? Where am I moving forward to? Maybe it has destroyed. Let's again moving with the analogy of a tsunami. It has destroyed my whole house, my everything.
My entire plan.
My entire plans that I had. But what now? Am I just going to wallow in the fact that I no longer have a house? I no longer have a car, I no longer have anything. Or am I going to own up to the fact, okay, this has happened. I don't have control over it, but I have control of what happens tomorrow.
And perhaps, bro, do you know where the beginning is, Mugen? The beginning is where you start being grateful of your life. And you spoke about meaning. You start then finding meaning because now you realize, okay, the tsunami has happened. All this bad has happened in my life, but I'm alive. I've got shelter to sleep under. I get to still live and become. I've got another chance.
It speaks to what we're always talking about, the fact that wherever you are and whoever you are, there's a purpose. And then the question is, do you believe that? Because then I think that belief builds within you that element of resilience, because you know what, there's a purpose that I'm here to fulfill. How can I be complacent in this situation, as stressful as it is? But I need to rise above it.
Do you realize, bro, the most people that have realized the high callings for their lives, who are striving towards being high impact individuals, or the ones who have faced adversity the most? Because they then realize that no, I must be alive for a greater cause. Because at some point in my life I thought this is why I was alive, but when all of the things that I thought I was alive for were demolished in front of my eyes,
now clarity came. No, man,
there must be something greater. There must be something bigger. So perhaps we're trying to say that a resilient mindset is not something that you will pray for. A resilient mindset is not something that you will fast for. Go to resilience. Or it's not something that you will learn from a Harvard textbook. A resilient mindset is literally what you'll experience through overcoming hardship, coming out as whole.
It's one of those things that you bananas in the field, basically.
A field in the
textbook.
I got textbook. But you know what, Toban? You know what I've once heard. You know when you go to a hotel for the first time, when you go to a hotel for the first time and use the shower, it takes some time for you to get the water hot, right?
It's always like
So it's like the adversity that you face, but I'm telling you, tomorrow you go into that shower, brah. You already know where it is. You understand what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true.
So now,
and you know, just to allude to what you're saying, then it speaks to even the fact that you are not going to master it once and then say, this is it.
Exactly.
Because you are going to face a different situation next time. But the fact that because I think, again, to draw that analogy, that determination that you have is the one that will allow you to, you know what, I'm going to get this right.
I'm going to get this right. So it's one of those things, but this might be a different challenge, but the emotions that is triggering, because sometimes challenges that we go through, they trigger emotions of inadequacy, bankruptcy, not being enough.
Let me make just a shallow example. Because just yesterday I was working. Working. Then 4 to almost 5 hours
of work.
My computer just shut down, lost everything. You know, my mind was saying, go to sleep. And I was like, okay, no, let me take a nap because I was stressed. But now there's the challenge. Maybe just a small example when it comes to resilience. Everything in me was like, just sleep.
And
don't even wake up. Don't take a nap now. Sleep. Abandon the whole project that you're working on. But then I was like, but to what end? What is it going to help with? And I still want the goal that I had in mind. I still need to accomplish it. So I was like, okay, fine. Perhaps maybe I'm not going to go back to the same project, but I can't stop working. So I'm going to abandon the whole work process.
Be effective in another area.
So I'm just bringing that example to touch into that. You know, sometimes that landment even in the beginning, you are going to feel the heat, but how do you rise from it? How do you approach it? Do you then say, this is
John, perhaps that then speaks to this definition. Resilience is our ability to bounce back from the stresses of life. It's not about avoiding the stress, but learning to thrive within the stress. See, those are the people that make it in life. Those who learn to strive, to thrive within the
crisis,
stress.
if we may put it
within
like
the
that.
crisis. And Dr. Miles Monroe always say that crisis is breeding ground for creativity.
And the question is going to be, which one of these two people do you want to be? Because crisis will always be there.
Exactly.
The crisis will come, and they come unannounced.
Absolutely.
So do you want to be the person who's going to succumb to the crisis and die while there are people during the crisis who are making the most out of it? So which one of these two people do you want to become? And it's all up to you. One, do you believe the fact that there is a mission, a purpose to your living? And if you believe that, then your whole psyche will change towards that.
And perhaps, bro, resilience, as we're about to close off, speaks a lot to the poem that we once read about our deepest fears, not being that we're inadequate, but because we are powerful beyond measure. At the end, how it speaks about when we have conquered our personal fears, we'll then be able to walk into rooms and set other people free. You know, and when and just to paraphrase that, what it simply means is that when we build this resilient mindset, we then carry an aura of courage.
Exactly. Because even if, I'm sorry,
no problem.
Even if, let's say, you walk into a room where everyone else is crying because of whatever adverse situation that has happened, and you walk in there and you cry, you don't make things better. But when you walk in there and you say, things are going to be better. Here's the solution. You start to see lower and lower. Now they're starting
hope.
To wipe their tears and they're finding hope
and sometimes
in you. So you are really igniting that
we
light
won't even have
them.
the solutions sometimes, right? Sometimes we won't even have it all figured out. But sometimes you will be that person that's willing to take the stand. That person that has that confidence that comes from within to say that I'm alive right now, and me being alive is not for a mistake. I'm here for a reason, and this reason is so that I can make an impact and a difference. So
you believe in that, and therefore that drives even how you behave when different situations come. So Mugelekai, thank you so much for watching, and take your time, man.
Also,
and
it won't
perhaps
be
maybe this will be something that is a bit practical when you are going through something that you did not expect, and you are finding yourself, think about what is going on in your mind. Consider the vision. Consider your purpose. And I'm sure that will help you to build up some kind of resistance and resilience in you, so that you are able to bounce back and stand up once again.
And I just want to say also, there are many choices that you're going to make within that period. And most people, I don't like it while they say, but you can't make decisions now. You are highly emotional. And all of that. That's trying to say that you can never be competent enough as a person, of which I don't really believe that. Now, what I would say, as a person, find meaning. Find meaning for the things that the decisions that you will make at that specific moment. Denote meaning and derive it from within. Find truth, meaning, what this situation means to you, and how you're going to bounce back and go forth.
Mugelekai, we are going to come back to you with another fabulous episode next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm actually just laughing because I'm just thinking, because this subject of meaning, it's really broad. Because it drives our whole life. Basically.
Absolutely.
And we're going to come back and we'll be talking about meaning, finding meaning. How do you actually find meaning? So thank you so much for tuning in, and up until next time, go serve your king.